Hello, I'm District 4 Councilman Ron Bowen, and welcome to another edition of PSL Living, your chance to meet the special people that make our special city of Port St. Lucie the place it is. And with me today from the Port St. Lucie Police Department is Crime Prevention Specialist Stacy Paton. Stacy, welcome to TV20.
Thank you for having me.
And we're here to talk about the Port St. Lucie Police Department. Everybody knows about all the outstanding work the police department does in fighting crime, but we're here to talk about the proactive programs to prevent the crimes. And you're a crime prevention specialist, and you work with a couple special programs right now. Could you please tell us about them?
Sure. One of our biggest programs that we have going on right now, it's an anti-retail theft initiative. We call it Operation Stoplifting. And what that is, we ran an analysis of all of our juvenile crimes, and we realized that 52% of our juvenile crimes are retail theft. And so when we see that, and the trend has been growing in the last couple years, it went from 22 to 29, and now it's up to 52. So we started this new initiative, and really it's an educational program. We're going into each of the schools, and we're showing the youth about the surveillance systems, how different stores, different retailers are watching them as they walk around the store. More importantly, we're teaching them about the consequences of retail theft and how it can impact them short term and very long term, not just, you know, in the next year, but 5, 10 years down the road.
After talking to you about it briefly, I was surprised how sophisticated the electronics surveillance is that places like Walmart have. You think, you know, they have surveillance cameras. You figure there's maybe a half a dozen or a dozen, but it's much more sophisticated than that.
Much more. They have hundreds of cameras in a lot of the retail stores. Most of them have every square foot of the store covered. And something that we tell the youth that kind of makes them grasp the concept a little bit better is to try and think about, you know, the very first cell phone that they remember of their parents, how the screen was a little bit smaller, the camera wasn't as clear, and now we're coming out with a new edition of phones, and how much bigger the screens are, and they're priding themselves on the, you know, the pixels being so high. Well, that's happening with security cameras too. So every single day they're getting better and better, and they can really see just the smallest little details throughout the store. Another thing that the youth really just are shocked about is when we were touring Walmart to see their security surveillance system. They allowed us to look at it as part of Operation Stoplifting, and we were able to zoom in on somebody's phone and read a text message off the screen. That's how crystal clear their security cameras are. So it's really amazing. So
it has an effect right off the bat on curbing the retail theft. And then I think you talked about it briefly, and maybe you can expound on it more, is the long-term consequences of getting into college or employment by having something of that nature on your criminal record.
Absolutely. We talk about the juvenile record and what you know, having an arrest on there can do. Every college is going to ask you whether or not you've ever been arrested. Every, you know, armed services, Army, Navy, they're going to ask you if you've ever been arrested. Even simple jobs, if you're looking to just get a job at a retailer, they want to know if you've ever been arrested. And the impact of committing retail theft is huge, because if you're looking to work for an employer and you've stolen from another business, that's something that they're really going to consider when they decide whether or not they want you at their location.
Well, I'm very thankful that the Port St. Lucie Police Department, people like yourself, are out there in the community trying to educate the youth and the public in general on how to prevent this kind of crimes from going on, and again, the consequences of it. A couple other programs you're working with that are proactive. I think you have a juvenile court.
We do have part of our juvenile restorative justice program. We have we have peer review and we have youth court, and that just offers the youth an opportunity to make up for their, you know, misactions, and without giving them a record that may impact them for a very long time. So that's something that we offer at the Port St. Lucie Police Department. A lot of other places don't, and it's really just a second chance for youth to try and get them on the right path so that we don't, you know, negatively impact their future for a simple mistake.
Well, it sounds like the Port St. Lucie Police Department, again, with proactive programs and then programs to minimize penalties. Really, it sounds like the Port St. Lucie Police Department is really 110% behind the youth, and they are the future of our community, Stacy.
Absolutely. We do a lot with our youth, and we pride ourselves on how much we, you know, the programs that we offer them, always going to different schools to teach them on different things, whether it's, you know, bullying or internet safety or Operation Stoplifting with retail theft. Anything that we can do to help brighten their future and make sure they're going down the right path, we'll will pay off in the future.
How can the community get involved? How can the youth get involved? Are all the schools covered? Are there private schools that may want to hear your presentation?
Sure. Currently, we've presented to 6 middle and K-8s in Port St. Lucie, and we have all of the high schools scheduled for the next 2 months. If there's any schools that have not been presented to, they can contact us and request the Operation Stoplifting presentation, and we'll gladly go give that to them. We also, like I said, offer all sorts of different presentations. So if they're having a problem, you know, crime prevention is a great place to go. As far as getting the youth involved, they can take the Stoplifting Pledge, and what the Stoplifting Pledge is it just tells the youth a few of the consequences. It says, I pledge not to, you know, limit my potential, not to harm my community, not to embarrass myself or my family, and then at the bottom it says, I pledge not to commit retail theft. And what we're doing in the schools, the school that brings back the most signed pledges will we're actually raffling off an Xbox One. So the kids are really excited about that. It's a little incentive to get them involved. They bring the pledge home, have their parents sign it, bring it back into school, and that's their ticket to win the Xbox One. So
that's outstanding. Cool. That's outstanding. Yeah. Well, again, it's special programs that make our Port St. Lucie Police Department a special police department it is. And again, we are, again, for the 11th year out of 13th safest city of its size in the state of Florida. So again, people like yourself and programs that the Port St. Lucie Police Department is presenting that, again, is much appreciated by the community and again by the City Council. So again, thank you for being here to present the programs today, Stacy.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be right back after these important messages.